Right, hello everyone. Hello, Ghost Rochelle. Hello, Jackie, EVP Science. How you all doing? Are you all right? Ghost Rochelle. Trying to think who you are. No, I've got you moderated. I can't actually think who the hell you are. Oh well. So how's it all going? I'm okay. Been busy, walking and walking and walking and walking. Yesterday I walked so much. I thought my feet were going to drop off. Seriously, I've been out. Some people will call me nasty names, but I don't give a crap what people call me because I've been called so many nasty names in the past. It doesn't really bother me anymore. But I've been out on the old scavenge yesterday looking for more cables and other bits and pieces. The cables you get from like fridge freezers, cookers and all that stuff. Even cable, as in the cable satellite dishes, and I've just been walking around trying to gather up as much copper as I can. Actually, I did make like a little gadget to cut the copper with out of wood, but the blades I kind of like nailed into just kept snapping, so I ended up using a nail for now. I did start actually scrapping a little bit of wire yesterday, but it wasn't really working properly. I need to get a proper wire stripper, but they're like £100. I'm not paying £100 for one. So, I can't be sitting here like with a knife and just like scoring it along the table. It just takes too long. Well, that's practically what you're doing anyway in one of those, even with like a what's the name, unless it's one of the ones which has got the option where you can put a drill in and the drill just turns it around and cuts it. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about this channel and my other channel. So it's kind of a mixture today, yeah. So yeah, I kind of went from, well, I went to the post office and I came back, and I just carried on walking. I ended up near Streatham, in a really big circle kind of thing, and like it's an interesting walk. I didn't find hardly anything for for the first 3/4 of the time I was there. Actually, it's only on the last quarter coming back home I started finding stuff. I should have gone out today actually, because Tuesday night people get ready to dump their stuff out on the curb, ready for the garbage man to collect the garbage. I think tomorrow, Wednesday. But I might get up early and have a walk around, see what I can find. I'm trying to get as much cable as I can, for the copper, because as you know, on my other channel I do remote detecting, magnet fishing. I started like a little hobby in smelting metal stand to make fishing weights. I do other bits and pieces, nature walks and stuff like that. Today I started making my own little furnace, and there is a video up on the other channel already if you want to go and check that out. I can't even remember what one it is, because I'm on this channel. I can't get the link. I can, hold on, I might be able to. There's no bringing up my other fucking link. Oh, mate. I'll get the link so you can check it out if you want. I'll only upload about an hour ago anyway. So what I'm actually in the process of making my own little kind of mini furnace. I've just been out there. I've done another little update, which is about a 10-minute update, which I've got to transfer over to the computer, upload that later. I realised that when I was making my little furnace, I need to make a lid, and I ain't got no kind of metal big enough to make the lid. So tomorrow I've got to go out on the scavenge, see if I can find any like old paintings, so I can just like whip the lid off it, and hopefully I can make a lid out of it that way, I suppose. But yeah, like, yesterday there wasn't hardly anything out there. I did find like an old amplifier, which I stripped yesterday, which is on yesterday's channel, and that was in like some old bushes. Now, in front of those bushes was this big iron, like fucking fencing. You can get your hand through. And I was able to get that one. And there's some other like gadgets there, like a satellite TV box and maybe a preview box as well, or something like that. And I couldn't get those because they're too far back. I got one of those like walk arounds where they, none of those like little hand grip things, what the old guys use out on the street when they're picking up litter. I've got one of those, so I'm going to use that and go and get those and strip them. The amplifier I found was so like, kind of like in a bad condition. I was not going to take a chance and like plug it in and, short circuit out, my electricity. Might even blew me up actually, so I just stripped it apart. So like, over the last few days I have been busy. I've been trying to get like some early night sleep, so I can get up early and go out and do some more scavenging. I've been looking up on the Google research. There is no law. I'm not breaking no law going around looking for any kind of like kind of stuff that I want to pick up from someone's garden, or like on the main road or anything like that. It's not like they state it is like metal theft, because it isn't. If it's on someone's property and you go knocking on the door and asking for it, as long as they give you permission and there's no money like exchanging hands, I'm perfectly okay. And I ain't got money to give people anyway. I came across a little small dustbin, which was in someone's skip, and I knocked on the door. A little old lady came, and I asked her if I could take it. She goes, "Yeah, fine, do what you want to do with it, I'm glad that, someone's doing something with it, and, at least it's like giving me that little bit extra for when my kids come around, and like put more crap in the bin, in a skip." So I might actually go around that way again tomorrow and see if there's anything else in there. But, I've been keeping an eye out on people like, having their houses renovated. It's more roofing. And, I've just been keeping an eye to see if there's any like lead being chucked in the skip, but not finding nothing. Because, with the lead, the roofers will keep that anyway. And I'm also trying to keep an eye out for any kind of like internal renovations, like, people like stripping the house and doing like, electrics, like putting new cabling for like the lights and stuff like that, but I'm not finding nothing. So it's just more like, finding the old electronics, like, a cooker, a microwave, fridge, freezer, which might have like the cable still on there. I found, several fridge freezers and cookers, but the cable had already been cut off. I don't know if it's where the owners probably cut it off, or there's just someone driving around cutting cables off, because like not far from me on this stuff, well, it's like a residential estate, there's a fridge freezer which I found, and luckily the cable was still on it, so I snipped that off, but he's still got the actual motor still there. I was going to go and like see if I can salvage it today, but I couldn't be bothered. It's just too hot. Although it said it was going to be cooler today, it didn't. It was really bloody hot today. I had to get out of here, and I started doing the little furnace, as I say, and I did video of it. So I've been keeping myself busy, like yesterday I must have walked 20,000 steps or whatever. So over the last week I've probably done over 100,000 steps. So on my phone I've got one of those like step meter things, it adds up every step you do. So I've just been keeping myself busy. Last night was a bit freaky. I put a little comment on my Facebook. I went outside because someone's dumped a really big doll in the wheelie bin. It's got no clothes on it, but it's a big one. And I thought, I don't know if I want that or not. I could always add it to my collection of dolls. Well, I went down there to get it, and I could hear something rummaging around in one of the other trolleys. So I looked in there. Fucking rat must have been about that big. I thought, well, that's got to get out. Something's got to happen to that because kids come in here and put rubbish in there. What happens if that rat jumps out and attacks one of the kids? So I came back up. I've got my fucking broom. And I'm trying to knock it out or kill it. Or I know I shouldn't be killing God's creatures, but you know what diseases fucking rats carry? They carry the bubonic plague, the Black Death. They can carry rabies and all that other stuff here. So I tried bashing it and killing it. No, I must have hit it about a dozen times, and it's still fucking running around. So I thought, well, I ain't gonna get it. And you can see it trying to jump up, and those wheelie bins are bloody big, and you can see it trying to jump up. I thought, nah, fuck it. So what I'd done is that I just kind of pulled the couple of bags what was there and stacked them high, so the rat can actually climb up onto the bags and get back out. I didn't really want to hurt it, but the thing is, with rats, they do carry, certain diseases, and if a child does get bitten, you've got to take it down, or you've got to take the child down to the hospital, get a tetanus jab, and you just don't know what those rats do carry. In the 16th, 17th century, whole of England's practically wiped out with the bubonic plague and the Black Death and everything because of the rats. So, I went down there earlier. Well, I did come back up, and I put the broom outside because I'm thinking, well, I've bashed it a couple of times and it might have fleas. So, and I don't want them in the kitchen, so I put the broom out on the balcony, and I came back in. And I thought, hang on a minute, that doll might have fleas. Because I started itching, just looking at the doll, and I thought, no, that's going back out. So I threw the doll back outside in the bin. That's out there now. But I'm saying to God last night, I'm sorry that I tried to kill one of your creatures, God, but come on, they are one of those creatures, rodents that carry so many diseases. I only done it because I was more afraid of the kids, that live here, that it might jump out and attack one of them, kind of thing. But as you know, it didn't die. It probably got stunned, and with your will and power, you can give it the energy to get back out and go from that bin to its little home in the ground with its little babies or whatever. So, I kind of apologise to God last night for trying to kill one of these creatures. And I don't really like killing creatures actually. When I was in when I was married and I was living in Collier's Wood, we was infested with mice, man. No, some of them I was able to catch you alive, some of them I had to kill. The landlord didn't do fuck all. He wouldn't even get the RSPCA down to sort things out with us, or even what they called pest control. Wouldn't do nothing. We was infested with mice for years, Some of them I caught and actually put them in a cage, and I was just intrigued on how long they would survive in some kind of captivity. I was dropping in bread and cheese in there to keep them alive. But the thing is, they did really begin to stink. And I had to get rid of them, I didn't kill as many as I wanted to kill, A lot of them I did release, to be honest with you. I just threw them out in the garden, but that's just defeating the object because, mice, mice and rats are bloody intelligent, kind of thing. And they will come back in your house. And, I even put mice traps down, and they'd never really worked. How they got into the top cupboards, well, I can tell you, yeah. Mice can burrow themselves up inside the wall cavity and get into your cupboards, and they will eat your fucking food. You know, there's times that I've gone and got the cereals to have like some cereal in the morning, and there's bloody mice shit in there. So you know, we was throwing so much food away. It was unbelievable, you know, kind of thing. And I'm glad I'm out of that goddamn place. You know, it stunk. The landlord never done the boiler, got it serviced after time. He only like done it like once every 3 years, and by law it's supposed to be once every year. Um, we had so much black mold, you know, it's unbelievable. We had to like kind of like cover the black mold up with boxes. If you looked at my earlier videos on this channel from 2013, where I started doing the paranormal, yeah, look at the early ones, yeah, the very early ones. Where I'm actually doing the video, you can see all that clutter in the background. Not all of that was mine. I'd say about a quarter was mine, and the rest was either the kids or the ex-wives, yeah. And we had all that along the wall to cover the black mold we had. Landlord wouldn't do nothing. It's only until like myself and my wife kind of like separated from myself, and I was living on my own for a little while. Then he gave me the form, you know, eviction notice. It's only until I was evicted and left, he gutted that place out and rented it out to like college students and stuff like that, you know, kind of thing. That's the only time he ever done any real work. We lived there for like 15 odd years. He never done fuck all in there. Excuse my French. No, maintaining the boiler once every 3-4 years. He was always there for his rent, always on the dot for his rent. But when we asked him to do something, never fucking done it. That black mold contributed towards my bloody asthma and my hay fever, because we all know what black mold does to, like, you know, people's illness. So no, living there was like living in hell, to be honest with you. I think I would have rather lived in hell than actually being in that place, because that's worse than hell. But you know, it's like I don't like killing, you know, animals. I'm not one of those kind of persons who will go around killing anything I could probably like get my hands on. Like some of the notorious killers out there, which we've done like little investigations on his channel, like live streaming. They started out killing and torturing animals, and they moved on to actually killing human beings. Now, because I killed a few like rodents in my past, it doesn't mean I'm going to go out and start committing murder. You know, that's one thing I'd never do. So don't get that in your thoughts, you know, because I'm not one of those kind of people. I don't like killing animals, rodents, you know, whatever. But you know, if I know it's going to be either a health risk, a health hazard, or even some kind of like a risk to kids, and I know kids do go in there and throw rubbish away for their parents because their parents are either too bloody lazy to do it themselves, or they're at work or something like that, yeah, or they might get their kids to like just dump the stuff in as they're going out to go to school. I didn't really want to see that rat jump out and attack one of the kids, so I did try, you know, bloody murdering the damn thing. But as I say, I was in there for about 10 minutes with the broom going bang, 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 you know, the brush side, the handle side, still fucking couldn't kill it. Even when you can hear it like squeaking, you know, you're thinking, right, you know, oh great, probably like snapped its neck or something. As soon as you let go of it, it's fucking jumping around it off. I tell you, this rat must have been a fucking bionic rat, man, I tell you. Because every time I thought I might have like either seriously injured it or killed it, it's like running around. So I just left it, and I just like got the the bin liner bags, and put it into like a stack. So I'm pretty sure he was able to get out and like go back to its like little nest or whatever. Maybe it might have like fucking died there, hopefully. And I do, right? When I went to bed last night, I'm thinking, please don't give me nightmares, you know, especially a nightmare like that movie Ben, you know, the rat where he goes around, you know, killing everyone, you know, with a fucking like million other rats behind him. I don't want to be waking up and you're seeing a rat staring at you with its fucking great big pointed teeth, like. I thought, no, please, no dreams. But luckily, I didn't have no dreams about rats last night. But I did feel kind of like guilty, doing what I'd done. But I was more concerned about kids going in there, kind of thing. So what I did do is I contacted early this morning, before I did go to sleep. I sent a message to my housing association saying that, I went into the downstairs to put some rubbish in the bin around about midnight last night, and to my amaze, there's a massive rat just standing there in a container looking at me, and I thought, well, this really does need to be addressed. I don't know if I've got an email back from them. I've not looked on any of my emails, or I've not had my phone turned on or anything really today. So let's have a look if I've got anything from them. I've got to wait for it to refresh. I don't know why, but every time I go into my emails, they don't come up straight away. All I can see is bloody messages from me. Would it be in junk? Here he goes. Fucking was it? Bethany. I can't even fucking pronounce it. Beshinary or whatever, where they saying, hey, we have $20 million, if you give us your account, we can post it into your account and we'll only take a fraction. Well, you know what? You can shove that email right up your Jack Jones, matey. Wish your local Guardian, Moonpig, Twitter. No. I had no email from them. It does sometimes take a little while for them to actually look at that. I don't know who this is. Andrew Burridge. This is your professional or private email address. Well, you have to take a guess. I'm not going to tell you, mate. But yeah, what I'll be doing is I've got things already sorted out for this week. I'll be going out tomorrow. And I'll probably be too tired to do anything tomorrow night. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to wait till Sunday and then I'm going to do another doll session. I'm not saying we will, but may do a Ouija board session, because last time I'd done my last stream, I wasn't feeling like I wanted to do one, because I know that I still didn't have the energy and the concentration, kind of thing. So maybe this Sunday I might do one. I don't know yet. But yeah, we will do a doll session on Sunday. I was supposed to be going out Thursday and meeting up with Alan, but he's actually got to work Thursday, so I'm going to be meeting up with him on Friday, and we're going to do some milk detecting. So that video will be on my milk detecting or my Steve's Adventure channel on Friday when I get home. No, I've been concentrating a lot more on my other channel, as I say, because I've been going out practically every day, and when I've not been out, I've been doing something inside here anyway. I've been trying to make a wire stripper, which failed. I've been looking on eBay how much they are, and they're between £80 to £120 for a wire stripper. I'm not paying that for it. I'm making my own little mini furnace as I say, you check on my other channel, you'll see the video on there, but I don't think that's going to work out. And I've been looking how much furnaces are, and I think they're about, I think about 120 quid or something. No, 180 quid. Let me have a look. Because there's two different furnaces. You can get one which is either used by electric, or there's one you can use by gas. Gas I can't really use because, I had to have my gas turned off here because it was affecting my asthma. So I can't really be using a gas furnace. So I've been looking at the electric furnaces. I thought I had one on here, but it seems to have not gone on. That's the Y strippers. It's not on there. And let's have a look on the watch list. I shouldn't be using propane gas actually as well. That's why I have to wear a mask every time I use it now. So I'm worried that might, start affecting my asthma again. Just trying to see if I can find one in my watch list. Seeing all the crucibles and stuff like that. Might have one on my watch list on Amazon. Shitload of fishing weight molds I've got an eye on. No, let's have a look on Amazon. Amazon. Your list. Yeah, this one's 269. But there were some cheaper ones, I'm sure there was. Let me just go on. But that's more like a proper machine for like melting gold and silver. Let's do melting furnace kiln. Because at least with that one, you get your grips, you get like a crucible, and it is like fully electric. Look. Yeah, these are way expensive. Now you're talking about the cheapest one is £269. This is what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at the moment. So I'm going to do one on eBay, so they're going cheap on eBay. Oh, shit. Paste. 263. 216 from Ireland. 217 from Ireland. Yeah. Like, you know, even from Ireland, it's going to take bloody a long time for it to come through. And so I can't really go for like one of the actual gas furnaces, which are probably cheaper. Let me just do furnace. So the other one I was looking at, they actually are from Lithuania. You know, it takes like 2 weeks to get here. And they're like £190, but then you've got to go out and buy the bloody gas bottles, you know, and they have about £40-50 each for, you know, one of the big ones. It's not worth buying a small gas cylinder because like you'll have that over and done within like a couple of like burns. You don't know how long each burn's going to take. That's why I'm trying to like, you know, make my own little furnace where I can use my little blowtorch now, because it's only going to be melting down lead and aluminium. But if I want something to melt down copper, which I do want, you know, either the all right, this one here, so 187. Now that's similar to the first listing, but that one is also from Lithuania, but it's slightly cheaper. Because you look on that first one, Prime 269, and that one now is exactly the same, but it comes from Lithuania. And it's 100 stuff, and if I had the money and ordered that, that would be between 22nd and 25th. But I don't have no money. You know, I even spoke to Universal Credit today about an appeal I've put in, and they said we ain't got no results on it yet. You know, it still could take months before they even consider on your appeal, and they only accept so many appeals. So, you know, I'm in kind of like die straight for funding at the moment. So what I know is that I know someone, not personally, but in correspondence. He's on Universal Credit, and what he does, he knows a lot of people, you know, like boiler maintenance people, people that does like roofing and stuff like that, you know, and he's able to get like lead, copper, and, you know, aluminium, tin, you know, whatever, either free or very, very cheap. And what he does is he, you know, makes his little bit of living by melting it all down and selling it, you know, to scrap dealers or on eBay. And as I said, you can sell stuff on eBay. It's not against the law. But if he's going to make a business out of it, then you're not supposed to, you know, you've got to let the DWP know. No, I've not sold any of my lead because I can prove that I've still got all my lead in my cupboard. And I don't need to prove anything to anyone. So, but, you know, if you're going to use it for your own self and like stockpile it for your own use, then there's no problem. But he has to, like, you know, sell some of his bits and pieces time to time just to pay like some of his bills, just like we all do, you know, kind of thing. And as long as, like, you know, the DWP knows that, you know, you're selling stuff to make enough to pay your bills, and they ain't going to worry about it. So, but all the lead I got from the first piece of lead I got, I had to pay for from the scrap dealer. He wanted £5, but I paid him £4 for a kilo of lead. I found 6 kilos of lead over one of the commons, a guy gave me 3 kilos. I've melted some stuff down to make fishing weights, and I've got the fishing weights in a box. Got about 30 fishing weights, I think it is, already made up. And all the other lead, which I accumulated, which I kind of like stacked up, I melted down, made into ingots, and that's in my cupboard in the kitchen. And if I weighed that up, that's about, let's think, about 7.5, 8 kilos of lead. So, you know, I am still trying to keep an eye out for lead, actually. I've been down the local tyre shop and asked him, and he goes, oh, like, I've been too busy, come back next Tuesday. So I said, what, this Tuesday coming? The following Tuesday? He goes, no, the following Tuesday. So I've got to go back down there and see if he's got anything. But he doesn't really get lead. He only gets the zinc. So eBay and on Google, they are actually kind of stopping manufacturers making lead weights now. But they are now actually going to be making like zinc fishing weights and copper fishing weights and maybe aluminium. But it's more going to be like copper and zinc. Now the copper, that's why I've been going around seeing if I can scrounge up as much copper as I can, stockpile it, and when I've got myself a little furnace, either one I'm making myself, if that gets hot enough to melt copper, I can like make my own little copper fishing weights, or buy a furnace maybe later if I can get the funding together. Zinc, I'm not sure the melting temperature of zinc. I know copper is a lot more higher than lead is. No, lead melts with about 200, I think is 250, 300 Fahrenheit. Copper is like about 900. Zinc is in between the lead and the copper. So like, but every kind of metal you can't like melt down still will give off like, that little bit of toxic gas. So I always make sure that I'm wearing a mask. So I don't want it affecting my asthma, kind of thing. So it doesn't matter if it's like a gas or electric kiln I'm using, or furnace, or what you want to call it. It's still gonna like give out that little bit of toxicity. So I always got to wear masks just to be on the safe side. Obsidius, I think that is. I probably can't pronounce that. I'm just going to call you DUS, DUS, DUS. If you was on ESA, right, which I now had stopped, because I was getting reported left, right, and centre years ago on here to the ESA, and I had to keep going to these fucking interviews or have an interview on the phone. Those horrible compliance ones, yeah. If you was on ESA, you was entitled to turn up to £120 extra per week without it affecting your benefit, but you still had to declare it here. Because I've got videos on here. I think I might put them private, I might take them down, but I know I did videos because I've been called like a scammer, con artist, a benefit thief, and all that shit, yeah. And so I've done videos, live stream videos when I'm actually talking to the DWP. While I was on ESA, I was entitled to make X amount, being £120, right? But if I went over the £120, that would then put me in the situation that the DWP would consider closing my benefit down, because they would say, well, £120 is more than you're getting off us per week, so you should be able to like survive on that £120 per week if you're getting £120 per week. So in other words, you could earn on a monthly base £480, £480 per month and still get your full benefit. But if it was over that, then they would consider like closing your benefit down. Because if you're getting like £460 per month or £408 per month, they would class that as you're making enough money to like survive on. That means like paying your bills, your rent, your taxes, if you had to pay taxes, national insurance, pay all your like normal bills, utility bills. They would say that you're earning enough to make that money. But if you was sensible enough and said, well, look, I'm only getting 110, and you was knocking £10 off, you was making sure you wasn't getting 120, but you was getting 110, then they wouldn't worry about it. You still get your full benefit. But now with Universal Credit, it's slightly different. With Universal Credit, if you can prove that you're not making a hell of a lot of money, which I've had to do, they will get you to fill out forms, which I've had to do, and I'm okay, because what they will say, if you're running the business, you need to let us know, because we will deduct it from your benefits, and if you're earning so much, we deduct it from your benefits. But if you're selling your own personal, items that you've had in your possession for years and years and years, which I have, whatever I sell, they're not worried about. I don't think there's a real limit. They will keep an eye out on any kind of income you're getting, because you've got to take your bank statement down every so often if they request it. But I'm actually covered because, as I say, I've done a lot of research. I've been talking to the unemployment so many times, and then with the evidence of them saying, well, yeah, you can sell your own personal property. We ain't got nothing against that, because we do know that you're not getting enough on benefits at the moment, and it is hard for you to keep to survive on what we do give you. If it's your own personal things and you're not making a huge amount of money, I apparently was making hundreds of thousands of pounds a week at one time. Yeah, it's making £100,000 a week, mate. Wouldn't be here. I'll have my own business, my own company. I'll be fucking rolling money by now. But I'm in the fucking shithole. Place has been this, kind of thing, with fucking rats running around the place. But yeah, I still do go in there and show my bank statements time to time and PayPal and all that kind of stuff, yeah. And they got no worries about it, because they know that, as long as it's my own personal items that I'm selling and I'm not making a business out of it, buying and selling, constantly, then they said, you're covered. Because I have actually, as I said, filled the forms in. Even when you're doing voluntary work and you're not getting paid for it, you still need to fill a form in saying that you're doing voluntary and you're not being paid for it, because it covers your ass. So if you were selling something on eBay or eBid or Asti or whatever, online auction sites, yeah, as long as you can show that what you sold them for, then there's no real problem. Because they can't turn around and say, well, how much did you buy that for? Where's the receipt for it? Because we ain't going to keep receipts from 10 years ago, are we? Come on. Even when I buy something new, like that fridge freezer my mum bought for me, yeah, I didn't get a receipt. I just got a receipt through my email, and I've not printed it out. So if they said to me, well, where did you get the money from? No, I've got to prove that the money come from your mum, and I can prove that it came from your mum, yeah, and then I can show the receipt how much it cost me. I could have actually went in and asked for a grant to buy that fridge freezer, but I didn't, so I didn't think about it. I was just talking to my mum and my sister, saying that my little fridge freezer fucked up. It keeps shutting off, wasting food because it's defrosting. And I kept having to throw food at time to time. My sister said, well, maybe you might need a new one. I said, well, I think I do need a new one. She goes, well, why don't you ask Mum? So I asked my mum. My mum said, well, I'll give you the money, as a loan, pay you back as and when you can. So I did actually get a new fridge freezer. If I was making enough money myself, which I'm not, I'd have bought it myself. I wouldn't have had to ask. And as I said, before, even with donations on here, I was getting a lot of negativity on donations and my monetizations, people slag me off and saying like I'm a beggar, I'm a thief, I'm deceiving people. He's not buying the stuff that he says that he wants to buy, when he's talking about it on his YouTube channel. Well, I proved to everyone that the things that I wanted, and I had help to buy those items. I had receipts. I even done unboxing of the stuff that I actually wanted and was able to get. Like, someone was good enough to help me buy this computer I'm using here, because my other one fucked up. Had no sound on it. I put sound cards in. I put a USB sound card on. Still got no sound. Couldn't hear myself. Couldn't hear nothing. No, couldn't even hear the sound on like YouTube. Couldn't hear no sound playing videos. Even if there's a video DVD I put in, still no sound. So someone was able to like help me out and buy a computer. I got called a liar and a thief about that, because well, where's the computer? Well, I fucking done an unboxing of the computer and he said thank you very much to the person, but I still got a lot of like grief over it. And I always, I said to the person who gave me the donation, I said, look, they keep calling me a liar and thief, If you think I've scammed you, I'll just send the computer back and I'll give you the money back. And they said, no, you keep it. I trust you, I believe you, and I want you to help you and support you. And I did speak to DWP about that as well. If someone was to donate something towards your channel, is that an income? It's not an income. If someone donates like £300 towards a computer and you buy the computer, it's a gift. You don't have to declare the gift. So, I've gone through all this shit with the unemployment ESA, DWP, whatever, just to like cover myself. And when I've even got proof, proof of the pudding, I still get called a liar and a thief and deception and, a scoundrel and all that kind of shit, I've even had some little comments on my other channel, which I deleted, saying, oh, look, he's out, like scavenging, isn't that against the law? Maybe you should contact the police and like let him know that he's out scavenging, stealing from people's gardens. No, I ask every person I get something from, like, if it's if it's on the actual footpath and it's outside someone's garden, and it's just sitting there, it's going to be, there for a reason, for the rubbish to come and collect it. And you usually see like, the smaller stuff like a little cooker, a kettle, a toaster, that kind of stuff, and it's sitting there waiting for the, the garbage man to come pick it up. It's going to be scrapped in it, Well, I've been watching shitloads, and I mean shitloads of videos over the last few days, well, the last couple of weeks actually, about e-waste. Would you believe most of the waste that we actually throw away, we do not recycle it ourselves. It gets sent to third world countries, such as like China, Afghanistan, Africa, and all that kind of places, because we just don't deal with it. We allow a third world country to take all that garbage, all that shit, and let them deal with it, which I think's wrong. But now China has actually put a ban on any import of like, waste, whether it being like plastic, computer components, monitors, TVs, all that kind of stuff, fridge freezers, parts of motorbikes, cars, all that's been banned from China, because they are kind of like got so much shit there that they can't really deal with it, and they're not making enough money to like kind of like recycle it themselves. So China has put a ban on imports. And did you know, right, found this out last night, right, Hong Kong, right, a good big proportion of that is built on garbage. Because what they used to do, because the rivers and seas were really big, they poured a lot of the waste into the sea, and then they built on that from the 1960s onwards, I think it was. So a lot of those high skyscrapers and like big buildings and bridges and you know roadways is actually built on the top of trash. Not what for fucking hell, man. So just think of how much garbage they've had, you know, and they've had people like us, the UK, Australia and other countries sent them e-waste over to them for like 20 odd years, even longer than that. And it's only now that, China is like, I think they've either put a ban on it already or they're actually gonna have the ban starting 2020 if they've not already done it. I think they have actually banned so many countries, but they're still trying to ban other countries to stop sending like waste over to them because it's like it's not so much the garbage itself, it's the way they're using it, trying to recycle it. Like if you watch a lot of their videos on YouTube, they're burning it, like cables, they're burning it, and they're burning that plastic off. That plastic is giving off like toxic gases, and it's like polluting parts of like Hong Kong, China, and everywhere like that, kind of thing. Even when you go, if you had like some stuff that you want to get rid of, yeah, and you thought, oh, it's going to be easier to burn it. Well, it may be easier to burn it, but don't forget you're setting off a lot of toxic gases into the atmosphere. So now with the UK, they are trying to find other ways and means of like dealing with their own garbage. But last year, I think they sent over well over 2,000 tons, and there's a lot, 200,000 tons of garbage to the third world country. So zinc 420. See, the thing with zinc, that is toxic as well. You've got to wear your mask, and I think what they're doing, it's not so much the zinc, it's the lead. The lead is very poisonous, kind of thing. So I do have to wear, like a little face mask. I can't buy one that's like no proper gas mask. They're just too expensive. So I just buy those little cheap kind of like masks, which I've got in here somewhere. These ones. I bought like a little packet of these off eBay. No, they do these in pound name, but not as good as these ones. But this kind of just helps me to like, kind of helps get not to breathe in all that. It's not going to like stop most of it, but it's going to stop some of it, kind of thing. And I don't burn enough, kind of like metals to really affect me. It's like where people work in the big industries and they melt with tons and tons of like metals. That's when they're going to get the health issues. And don't forget, if you're working outside like I do, and you're melting some lead, you're only giving that little bit of like toxic, which isn't going to like really pollute the whole fucking planet, is it? Really, it's like the big industries that are polluting, and that's what they're more worried about, with the recycling. Some of the companies that's supposed to be recycling is not recycling. They are actually sending it to the third world country. And what I found out yesterday when I was watching a video last night is that the companies that's supposed to be like recycling stuff, gets paid for it, right? They get like some kind of credit and they get paid for it. But what they do, they don't do it. What they do is they ship it over to like, let's say, the third world, and they'll only get paid if they can say, well, yeah, it's been like recycled. Well, they're actually recycling it by sending it to bloody China or Hong Kong or Africa. It's some kind of like RPN or some kind of fucking thing where they say, well, like, yeah, we take your garbage, we'll sort it out. You give us like 20,000 or $200,000 or pounds or whatever it is, we cycle it. But they don't. They send it off to the third world, and what they do is that money they get in, they're not actually paying China or Africa. You know, China and Africa is probably like paying, well, what I saw last night on one of the videos, one guy actually bought so much waste thinking it's going to be like plastic bottles, which he can actually like recycle. He got like 100 tons of like waste, and it wasn't just bottles. It was like plastic bags. It was like paper, tin cans, you know, scrap metal and stuff like that. Things that he couldn't really cycle. He wanted like, you know, nothing but plastic bottles, which his business was. But no, he's got like 100 tons of like fucking waste been sitting there for a year, and he's not been able to recycle it. He can't even like do no. The only thing he can do is like lose the money on it and put it in the landfill. And that's what they're trying to stop, is by putting all this shit in landfills, you know, because like it's just fucking ridiculous, man. But people are coming up with good ideas. Like there's one video where a guy in Africa has found a good idea for like plastic bottles, and he's making e-boats. And what an e-boat is it's a little boat, probably about 20 foot long, made out of like plastic bottles, and he gives them away freely to the fishermen who can't afford like proper boats. And he, you know, each boat takes about 400 or 500 bottles. Once he's made them, he takes it to the like the fishing community, and he gives them out freely. And if anything like happens to the boat, all they got to do is like, say like the boat starts like leaking, all they got to do is replace that plastic bottle, and it stopped leaking. So people are coming up with good ideas. There are a couple of like little factories that said that they got ideas, but it's just more. It's going to cost them a lot more money. And without that money, they can't do what they want to do. So, you know, where people going out and saying, "Oh look, he's scrounging. Look, he's pouncing off someone." So fucking what? At least it's not going in the fucking landfill. It's not going to be sent out to a third world country for them to sort out. At least I'm doing it. You know, at least I'm salvaging some parts. Yeah, okay. All right, you know, there might be some plastics that, you know, might need to be thrown in the bin. But once it's in the bin and it's in the recycle bin, I've done my job. But even when people are putting stuff in the recycle bins, yeah, hoping it's going to go to a proper recycling company, it's not happening. And that ain't their fault. It's down to the people who's actually supposed to be sending it out to like factories to be recycled. But a lot of these people ain't doing it. They're sending it to the third world. And that's what's like causing a lot of uproar in the pollution side of like aspects. You know, at least they are now actually trying to like stop lead being used in the UK. There's still a lot of lead around, probably billions of tons of it still, you know. But they are trying to stop it from like being used on certain things. Like, I think they still use it on like roofing and stuff like that. Even when people get their roofing done, they don't have new. They kind of like get the roofer, the builder, to like recycle it and continue using that same bit of lead. You know, you get like lead pipes when you're doing like your plumbing. Now, they are actually the government's trying to stop that. It's going to be like copper piping and not lead piping, because if you think about it, in the olden days, you know, the industry, when they was like doing like, you know, your bathrooms, your toilets, your kitchen sink and stuff like that, there used to be a lot of lead piping involved, and people were getting ill because of that lead piping. So what year it was, I don't know, but they put a ban on using lead piping in like people's homes. But lead piping still being used outside on like roadworks and motorways and stuff like that, and still on like you know, like residential homes and other kind of like places that lead's still being used. But you know, the government in the UK are trying to put a ban on lead. They're going to try to ban lead being used, and like you know, that production within the next 20 years or something, 2040 or whatever. You know, they have put ban on lead on certain things already, but there's still a lot of things that lead can be used. Even when, like, you know, recyclers are like melting lead down into quite big ingots, there are like countries, especially third world countries, that still use lead for certain like aspects, you know, certain things. But the plastic bottles are interesting because, like, what they're going to be doing now with plastic bottles, they're going to be recycling that and using it as tarmac on main roads and motorways later on. What else was I going to be doing plastic? There's so many things I suppose going to be doing plastic nowadays. Like, it's going to be like crazy. What I do is with plastic bags and bottles and stuff like that, I kind of like recycle it. I put it in like a large kind of like chipping machine. I don't think they melt it down, but what they do clean it. Then they put it through like a chipping machine and make little beads, and then beads can be used for like, you know, making either more bottles, you know, plastic bags. But they are going to be using a lot more on roadways, you know, like for roads and stuff like that. Maybe like clothing, shoes and stuff like that. Plastic bags are going to be made into like clothes apparently. You know, plastic's still going to be used, but it's not as much. Like, you know, they are going to try to cut down on plastic. Like, if you go to McDonald's now, you don't get a plastic straw now, do you? You get a paper straw. So, no, there's billions of straws that have now been stopped being made, but they're not going to completely ban plastic straws. Chemists, pharmacies are going to be selling it because, like, for certain reasons, you know, kind of thing. Some people can only use a plastic straw and not a paper straw, probably because, like, you know, being allergic to it or something. You know, don't know, but I know that some of their pharmacies are going to be using plastic still. They are going to try to like stop using a lot of plastic within the next 20 years as well. They just got to come up with ideas on what to use it with. You know, what I say, like putting a ban on it. I mean, like putting a ban on like making plastic bottles, you know, cups, plastic knife and forks and spoons and stuff like that. You know, kind of thing. Especially plastic bags. They're going to try to put a ban on that in the next 10, 20 years. You're going to have to use more paper bags than anything else. You know, they can't put a ban on it totally because, like, you know, so much stuff is made with plastic, you know, like plastic boxes, you know. Handbags have got plastic in. Shoes have got plastic in. Like, there's so many things that have got plastic in. They can't entirely ban it, but they will be banning it from certain like products. But a lot of it will probably go on like roadways and like, you know, footpaths and stuff like that as well, apparently. So I've been like, you know, watching a hell of a lot of videos on like, you know, recycling. I never really bothered like recycling at one time, but now I started recycling my crisp bags. I used to throw them away every time I used them and put them in the bin, but now I don't. I'm gathering them together because Walker's Crisp has a free postal address where you can send Walkers, not just Walkers, but every other crisp packets, you know, that you use. You can send them into Walkers and they recycle them. And you know, I've got like about 30 crisp packets out there in the kitchen waiting to be like packed up in an envelope, sent to a free post address for Walkers to recycle them. The only thing is they don't take is when you go out and buy, you know, one of those multi-bag crisps, I don't think they take that plastic. It's just the actual crisp packets they take. But I've not really checked on that one. I know that, you know, there was videos on it. Because that's how I found out, like, you know, crisp packets do get recycled. So I'm sitting here one day, I'm eating, I said, well, if they're going to be banned and stuff here, you know, crisp packets are like plastic, aren't they? Because I watched a video on that, and they did say crisp packets do have an inner layer of plastic. And I think you might have a little bit of aluminium as well, I'm not 100% sure. But I did a video, and I saw a video with Walkers stating that if you send crisp packets to them, they will recycle it. It doesn't matter if it's their crisp packet or someone else's crisp packet, they will recycle it. How they're going to recycle it and what they're going to use it for, no idea. But they will recycle it. So if you eat a lot of chips, crisps, potato chips, check on Walker's website. There's a free post address where you can send your recycled crisp packets. Paper, cardboard, that gets a lot, recycled quite a lot. They are going to try to stop doing a lot of landfills as well later on, once they know exactly what they're going to be doing with a lot of this, waste. Even, cardboard's being sent to the third world. And there are big companies out there that do recycle the cardboard. They just mush it down and then create new cardboard boxes and cereal packets and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do my little bit. I've been going out, scavenging. At least it's not going in the waste. One of those landfills. It's not going to be sent over to fucking China or Hong Kong or Afghanistan or Africa. At least I've recycled a little bit because I'm using it. And, I've pulled apart within just over a week and a half 2 microwaves. And practically all that's going to be recycled by me. Because, you've got steel, you've got aluminium, you've got copper. The glass bit, the glass door, that'll have to go in the bin. It will be recycled because it'd be under the recycling glass. Yes, it's got some steel on it, but that'll go to another plant that will recycle that, because steel was used for construction, cars, motorbikes, push bikes, and fucking God knows what else. So there's 2 items there, glass and steel. That will be recycled. I don't think that'll go to the third world, especially to China, because, as I say, China put a ban on it now. Hong Kong's putting a ban on it. Africa's putting a ban on certain stuff as well. I've got it here. I hate when you get it here. So yeah, I've just been keeping an eye out, watching videos and just doing what I want to do, kind of thing. Now, I've had a couple of snidey little remarks, but I just kind of remove them and block the person who's leaving the snidey remarks. They don't realise, even if I am going out, taking stuff out of someone's garden, it's not going to go into a landfill. I'm trying to do my little bit by, scavenging and salvaging and using what I can for myself, kind of thing. Well, what are you going to be doing with all that lead when you finish with it, How about all that copper? You ain't going to use all that copper, are you? What are you going to do with that? Well, it doesn't matter what I'm going to do with it. It's none of your fucking business what I'm going to do with it, If I want to stockpile it and have 100 kilos of each, I'll fucking stockpile it because there's going to be some use to it, Maybe lead, later on when they're going to start banning lead, they're going to let the public know that lead's going to be completely banned by so-and-so year, and you might be able to take it down to the scrap dealers and get a little bit of money for it. But copper is never going to be banned. Zinc ain't going to be banned. Aluminium's never going to be banned. Steel and iron's never going to be banned because we use that all the time, kind of thing. Plastic will be kind of partially banned on certain products, but not totally. But I just can't see why people get the arsehole because I go out and do a little bit of scavenging now and then. It's not breaking no fucking laws. I'm not stealing it. I am actually going on into people's gardens and say, hey, can I cut that cable? Last thing I took from someone's garden was a microwave. And I actually knocked on the door and said, here, mate, those items been scrapped because he had a microwave and a fryer. No, I would have took the fryer, but when I opened it up, it had so much oil in it, I just left it. But I took the microwave and brought that home and done. I completely stripped that down. So, no, as long as I've got permission, it's not, to, get it and sell it. That's why I'm not here for, because I'm trying to like save money myself. Because if you go to a shop, a fishing tackle shop, and buy one fishing weight, right, you're actually paying about £2 to £3 for one fishing weight. Now, if I can get the lead, I can just melt that down, use my mould, which I bought off eBay, and just make my own fishing leads. Saves me money, don't it? And if someone come up to me and goes, "Oh, you got a spare lead, mate?" I'll either get to him freely. I'll say, "Well, yeah, here's one. You can have it now. But if you want some more, I'll sell you a few for like a couple of quid. I could sell them for £1 each, and I ain't gonna get no rejection over it." But some people might say, "Well, look, he's selling it because, well, I'll have to report him." I ain't gonna worry, me making fishing leads and selling a couple of fishing leads, because I said I am covered. I'll tell them what I'm doing. I had to fill forms in. If I was like making 1 million fishing leads, and selling 1 million fucking fishing leads, then that'd be classed as like fucking business, yeah. And if I'm making and selling them at a good fucking reasonable price and making a huge amount of profit, do you think I would want to be sitting on a fucking dole for the rest of my life? No, I'd rather be out fucking like making my own business up, There might be one day where I can think about like recycling something and making that into a certain object, and then making money out of it. If I knew I could recycle something and make money out of it, and I knew I was going to make a huge amount of money, thousands of pounds a day or a week, I'll be off this fucking social. I'll be fucking moving that this shithole as well. Don't like it anymore. But that's what I've been doing anyway. Watching the shitload of videos on YouTube. Now I'm going to go in a minute to cook some dinner. Not got much in there. Going to cook some hot dogs, fry them up. That's what I've got is hot dogs. I've got some potato chips I can eat. Finish off my cheese and ham yesterday. No, actually, yeah, I did finish that off yesterday. I actually had a kebab yesterday as well. So I'm not really hungry, but I'm hungry enough to like cook some sausages. And that tin, after I finish with it, will be kept here and recycled, because tin can be melted down as well. So any kind of like tin, aluminium, and stuff like that I've got won't be thrown in the bin. Well, it will, but not in the garbage bin downstairs. It'll be put in a separate bin here in my home on the balcony. I don't know why I keep saying garden, but I ain't got a garden, it's a balcony. They'll be put in a particular like container. No, it might get all mixed up because I don't have like enough containers to like put them separately. But I will try to get some containers if I can. I saw some containers the other day actually, but they didn't have no lids on them, so I just left them. But if I can get some, containers with lids on, then I can separate them like tin, aluminium, copper, lead, steel, iron. And, I'm not going to recycle glass because smelting glass is one thing I don't want to be doing. Plastics, I can't really recycle plastic myself, so that will go in the bin. But tin, aluminium will be recycled by myself. I'll keep it and scrap it down and melt it down and make ingots. There is a guy on YouTube I love watching. Let me try and think what his name is. I've got to try and think what his name is. He's an American YouTuber. I've got to try and think what his name is. He's an American YouTuber. 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 Let me see if I can find it. Cast aluminium. There's one called Press Tube I like watching. And there's another one called The King of Random. Where's the other guy, for fuck's sake? Oh yeah, Big Stack D Casting. This is a really good guy I love watching. You know, he melts down copper, brass. He has done a little bit of lead, I think, but he does more aluminium, copper, brass, and stuff like that. I love watching this guy. So that's his YouTube channel. It's not got no new ones up lately, I don't think. No. I saw that his last one, Nordic Gold Bar Casting. And it's not proper gold. What it is, it's aluminium and copper. So they call it like aluminium, ali gold or aluminium gold. And what it is just like copper and aluminium, or is it copper and brass, something like that they mix in. But this guy, like, you know, he shows some of the stuff he makes. You know, he makes molds. He makes like swords and axes and like, you know, replica guns, not ones you can find, you know, just like a fake gun kind of thing. He makes like a knuckle duster, but he just generally goes out and, you know, does videos on like some of the stuff he makes. Like he's made a logo casting, which I don't think I've watched yet. He makes like his own coins, not like, you know, coins where you can go and fucking sell, but his own kind of like custom logo coins. He never shows himself on camera that I know of. He doesn't talk on camera. He's just like, you know, subtitled. And there are a few people that actually do that, actually, you know, just like subtitle it. But I love watching that guy, you know. So go and check him out. But say, you know, if I can recycle something, at least I'm gonna, you know, give it an attempt. And people can't turn around and say, "Well, look, he's scrounging for stuff," when I'm not. Well, it is in one way, I suppose. But at least you're doing something useful with it. You know, as I say, he's not going in a shitty landfill. He's not going to a third world country. I'm going to make some kind of use out of it. And if I can't make any use out of it, then I'll at least put it in the proper recycling or take it to the scrap dealer. I try to get something out of it, and so it goes that way. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a stream on here Sunday, as I said. Probably another doll session. Do some EVPs in a ghost box. And maybe a Ouija board. I didn't do one last time because I just didn't feel, you know, in the right mind of doing it. So that's why the reason I didn't do it, because I didn't feel like I was in the right mind. I didn't have the energy, you know, the strength. I wouldn't have been able to concentrate properly. So, but hopefully this Sunday I might do. I said might do one, but it still might take a couple of weeks, or even a couple of months before I do one. I don't know, but I will try and do one. If it ain't going to be a Ouija board, it might be a pendulum. Might even try to do a tarot card reading with someone at some stage again. But yeah, Sunday will be the next stream. Friday, I'll be going over to meet Alan. We're going to go metal detecting. So there'll be a video out on Friday with us metal detecting. There might even be another 1 or 2 videos up, you know, before then. So I'll go out like scavenging tomorrow. I might do a video. So I don't really. I have noticed that sometimes when I take my camcorder out, well, not my camcorder, my little head camera, is not actually recording. some reason. You know, I've turned it on. You hear the you know, when you press record, you hear it record, but it doesn't record for some reason. Like today, I was doing a video in here showing you know, me drilling holes in that galvanized steel tin I've got, and I explained what I was doing. And when I stopped it, or went to stop it, I realised it wasn't fucking recording. So I thought, well, that was a bit of a waste of time. So I just like made sure when I did the recording, I recorded it again, but I'd already drilled the holes, put the legs on and stuff like that. I just said, well, this is what I've done. Then I went out in the balcony and I mixed up the plaster of Paris, cement and sand, and made what's the name. Hello, Ride. I'm just closing down now, mate. I'm going to get some food, cook some sausages. That's all I've got. Actually, well, I've got sausages and I've got like pot noodle. Got 2 pot noodles, so I might eat the pot noodles and not bother cooking the sausages. Yeah, I might have a pot noodle. So that's it. Just keep an eye on my other channel. As I say, you know, I'm always uploading videos. I think I've uploaded a video on it every fucking day, actually, for the last 2 weeks. Now, if you ain't got my other channel, go in there, check it, subscribe to it. Thank you, Ian. Go and check it out, subscribe to it, because I'm always putting videos up on there. Some of them ain't got like long videos, some of them about 10 minutes, some 20, some like an hour, but I don't think I've got anything on there more than an hour, hour and a half, you know, more recent ones anyway. But I put one up, be making like, you know, my little kind of like start to the furnace thing. Did one yesterday, 2 I did yesterday, and then 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. So nearly one, or well, it's at least one every day anyway. So that's what I've been more concentrating on that channel. But you know, I still do my coffee breaks on here, let you know what I'm up to. Let you know that, you know, I've done another video on the other channel. You know, I'll start doing paranormal again, you know, on Sunday. And I did say, you know, even if it's only once a week, at least I'm doing something, you know. People can't say, well, you know, he's not into the paranormal, we ain't going to do the paranormal. Well, remember the last one was about the 2 Peekaboo dolls. So this one we're going to be some other dolls this time, which I've got. I might even bring that fucking evil bitch out one night as well during a weekday. That one which I got from Gen T, the multi-serial killer one, you know, who killed her 4 husbands and other men that she dated and her children and her butler and maid. So I might bring her out again. And that other doll who died in a car crash. She hates men because her boyfriend cheated on her. She gave me a little bit of jip in the past, so I might bring them both out and do something with them again. But they're still in that cupboard, locked up. Well, not locked up, but in that box. So, yeah, we probably might do them in a couple of weeks' time. But Sunday, you know, I'm just going to bring a couple of random dolls in. Do a ghost box EVP, see if we get anything with the dolls, with the K2 meters. I can't remember what I've done with my DC box. I think it might be in the living room. It might be in here, I don't know. I can't remember what I've done with it, but I've got it here somewhere. So we'll have that turned on. Might do an EVP if I can find my mobile phone and charge it up. Because remember that Olympus one didn't really give us nothing, but the Nokia does. So we'll add that out if I can find that and charge it up. normal Afterlife box. I might bring out one of the Steve Cooper boxes, give that a little quick go as well. I say with the Ouija board, I might do one, I might not. You know, I might rather do. I rather might do a pendulum than the Ouija board to start off with. But with the pendulum, I've got to get my little chair out and rest my arm on it. Plus, I've got to find the pendulum board. So, wait till Sunday. We'll see how we get on with it, yeah? So, my next paranormal will be Sunday. My next video that I may do will be tomorrow, and that'll be on my other channel. And there'll definitely be one Friday on my other channel, because it'll be me and metal detecting. Not going to say where we're going to go. In future, I'm not going to be telling people where I am. So I've had some snidey remarks on there saying, "Oh, we're going to come down and kick your head in," and stuff like that, you know, point that fear factor in me. But fuck them. As long as they don't know where I'm going, they can't come down and find me, can they? So there are going to be quite a few videos, which I do in future. Well, I won't be saying where I am, you know, not before I go. I might say where I am on the day, but I won't be saying where I'm going to go before I go there. So, yeah. Right, so I'm off. Go and cook myself some pot noodle, and I'll see you Sunday. Cheers for jumping in and watching. Catch you later.